They pulled this out and water has squirted straight across the kitchen. Yeah, I think it's going to come out. Yeah, look, you can see it there. You can even hear it. He must have put that nail into there 10 years ago. 3 or 4 mil either way, and you'd have missed that pipe. Ooh. Yeah, there's still a fair bit of pressure in it. So how can you have an open end with the hose on there, drain it down, and as soon as you cut it here, water starts just constantly coming out. Let's get that. Can't believe this. Do you know what I reckon it is? I've been called out to a customer of mine because they have got a nail through a heating pipe that is feeding this radiator here. They've taken this picture off the wall. There was a nail in the wall there where the pipes come straight down to feed this rad. They pulled this out and water has squirted straight across the kitchen. So what I said to them was, put the pin back in or put the screw back in. That will stop the water for now and I'll get over as soon as I can. But first of all, what we've got to do is expose this, see what the problem is, see how we're going to fix it and go from there. I'm Mark, this is Real World Plumbing. Give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button because we need to sort out this problem with the plumbing and a drilled or nailed pipe. So then, as I just said in the intro, a customer of mine rung me and said, Mark, we've got water gushing across the kitchen because basically, I'll talk you through what they're having. You see a mark at the top here? They're having this wall panelled. Obviously, the radiator's got to come off for them to put the panel in behind. There was a picture on this wall here. So Simon, the customers, as everyone would do, taken the picture off, seen a nail there, and just pulled it out, and water is spurted straight across the kitchen. So I said to him, I'm not able to get there. This was 2 days ago. I said, I can't get there, I was out of town. I said, put the nail or the screw back into the pipe and it should stop the water coming out. And to be fair, it did. So we got round here as soon as I could to sort of see what we're gonna do with it. But it's something that so many people do. And you know, a lot of customers go, I feel so silly for doing it. It's one of them things. It's just, you know, you've got to look and say, right, if there's a radiator there may be pipes going up there. You can see on this one, the crack in the wall all the way up. Would have been the heat from the pipes behind here, but he wasn't to know. He's pulled that out and water's gone everywhere. So what's interesting on this one though, is he said the water slowed down, which he's not on a combi, so the pressure hasn't gone out the system. He's on a tank fed up in the roof. So we're gonna jump up in the roof, see what's going on. But first of all, I'm gonna pull this out just to see if there is any water still coming out. See, Simon sort of said it died down a little bit. I think it might. Yeah, I think it's gonna come out. Yeah, look, you can see it there. You can even hear it. So, let's push that back in. I think we've got a plastic pipe here feeding this rad, so I think it's going to be 10 mil plastic. But first of all, let's go and bung the tank up in the roof, or shut the tank off in the roof and get this drained down from this rad. Obviously we're going to have to drain the whole heating system because it's on the ground floor down in the kitchen. We'll isolate the radiator, take the rad off, get it drained down, and then expose where that pipe is. Right, let's jump up into the roof and have a look at isolating this header tank. I think there's an isolation valve on it. Yeah, there it is, on the side, just there. Isolation valve on the side of the header tank. So we'll get that shut off and drain the tank down and drain the heating down. So just turn that, quarter turn, that'll isolate the header tank up in the roof. Just give the valve a little push. There we go, we know. Give the valve a little push, we know it's not filling back up. We know it's not filling back up, so let's get it drained down. So with the water turned off upstairs to the heating tank, let's get this rad shut down. These are so much better, these Allen key valves, I think. So that's that side. We'll just turn the TRV off for now. Make sure that's off. Get our bucket underneath, crack the valve here, get the water drained out of this rad, and then I've got my hose here We'll attach it to this side and stick it out the back door, get it drained down. Everyone always asks, whenever I do a drain down and use these buckets, put in 12 litre foldable bucket on Amazon, £6. I think I bought them about 2 years ago, before they become a bit of a thing. Yeah, £6 Amazon. I think I bought it because it was orange and black, but they're perfect for draining down. Right then, with the rad off, let's get the hose connected onto this pipework and just get the TRV open and get the system drained down. So while that's draining down, I'm going to just nibble out a little bit of a access panel behind here, because you can see it is plastic pipework, but it must have been that close to the wall because it's cracked all the way up. So I think by the time we've chopped a little bit of this wall out, the pipe's going to be really flush to the front. It's not going to be an issue either. We haven't got a patch up behind here because, as I said, they're having panelling put up from here straight down to the floor anyway. So whatever we do behind here is going to get covered up. So let's see what's going on. Right, I don't want to take that nail out just yet because the heating's still draining down. But the wall is absolutely soaking. I think, well, Simon said to me he wants to put that nail into there 10 years ago, so it's been constantly just sitting there seeping. It might not have even been seeping, it might have been absolutely fine. But because it's not a combi, they would never have known that that water was just getting topped up with the tank up in the roof. But the plasterboard is absolutely soaking. I mean, you couldn't get much more unlucky than this. Check this out. Here we go, look. It literally 3 or 4 mil either way and you'd have missed that pipe, but he's gone straight through. Let's just pop that out. Oh, yeah, there's still a fair bit of pressure in it. Let's leave that in. Just wait for it to drain down. But what we can do with this is, because it's just that little point there, I'll show you a little trick. Well, it's not really a trick, it's what everyone does, but it's an easy way to fix it without chopping loads of pipe work out. So now we know that that is the left-hand pipe that's got the pinhole in it. I opened up, well, I put the hose on the right-hand side pipe. So what I'm going to do is shut that off and switch it over to this side, just so that it drains that side down a bit easier and we can put a coupler onto there and get it sorted. So with the heating system now just about drained down, I think we can risk pulling this pin out and just seeing. There we go. Can hear a little bit of air going in. So yeah, that little pin was the culprit. There's still a little bit of water coming out. So we'll pop it back in there. And I bought a load of copper, 10mm copper, 10mm end feed fittings to fix this, assuming that it was going to be in copper, but it's not, it's in plastic. So what I'm going to do is shoot off and pick up a 10mm coupler. Now what we are going to have to do, because it's going to sit too proud, as you can see with these fittings here, is probably just chop a little bit into that block work to sink the fitting in so that that can be covered up. Even though they're putting paneling on, I think they probably will just put a skim of something over the top of it when they come to do this. But yeah, let's shoot off and get a 10mm coupler and a couple of inserts. Right then, been and picked up a couple of couplers. I only need one, but I thought I might as well pick a couple of them up and some inserts. Now, as I said earlier on, we're going to have to chop out a little bit of this block from behind, because if I offer that into there, it's just about flush, but obviously the pipe's going to come out it's not going to sit flush on the wall, it's going to poke out a little bit forward. So what I'm going to do is mark up where the centre, where this pinhole is, to the centre of where the coupler is going to go, and then we can chop out a little bit of that block. And then also what we're going to have to do, this is the thing, when you've got no give on any of this pipe, I've tried to sort of pull it from the bottom, hoping it may shift in the wall, but it's never going to, because it's sort of plastered in at certain points, or dot and dabbed in. So what we're going to have to do is cut that, and then we're going to have to cut down further to be able to pull the pipework out to get the fitting on, to get it back in, if that makes sense. I'll explain it when I'm doing it, but for now we're going to mark that up and chop a bit of that block out. We're not going to need too much out, just sort of got to like sculpt it behind. Luckily it's just soft breeze block, so we're all good, hopefully. Yeah, it sort of pops away fairly easily. As I say, we've got to come down here anyway, so I'm going to give myself a little bit more access. You can see here, that's why I can't pull the pipework out, because they've obviously dot and dabbed it a little bit off the wall. But it is what it is. So say we don't want to go too deep with it, I think. So that should be more than enough now, to be honest. Just got to work out how much you've got to take out to allow us the sort of flex of the pipes to get the fitting on. This is where, when you're doing it in copper, you could get like a slip coupler. So with a slip coupler, you just cut that, slide the coupler on, push the pipe back in, slide it down, job done. But with this, we've got to approach it slightly different. So let's get the cutters, let's pull that pin out. So if we cut directly on where that pinhole is, literally gonna do that. Who is it? I can wait. So I ended up taking that call because I was about to cut this pipe and I thought, you know what, I'm going to take that. And to be honest, it's lucky I did, because it is for a very big job that we sort of looked at 2 or 3 months ago. I don't think I put it on the channel. So that's quite good that I took that phone call. Anyway, I'll come on to that in another video. So get subscribed, perfect opportunity, get subscribed for that job, which is very good. Right, let's get, as I said, our cutters are on that hole that the nail made. Don't know if you can work it out. So if we cut there, still just a little bit of water in it. If we cut there, and then we can get a little bit of purchase, hopefully, on this pipe work and be able to get that fitting on it. So how can you have an open end with the hose on there, drain it down? I've checked outside, there was no water coming out the hose. But as soon as you cut it here, water starts just constantly coming out. Like that. Right, let me just stand here for a little bit, wait for that to stop, and then get a couple of inserts in. In fact, I'll get one in now, between splurges of water. There's one. There's two. Right then, as I said, we've chopped out the wall at the back, so this fitting is going to sit in there perfectly. So let's get it. Can't believe this. Let's get it on. Right. Let's see if we can get Do you know what I reckon it is? The pump trying to do the hot water. Let me know in the comments. I'm just going to go for it. Done. There we go. And then that will push back in. Obviously where we pulled that out a little bit, it's just brought a little bit more of the wall out, but it is what it is. So with that in now, as I said, the wall can sit flush there. That fitting will sit back in that bit that we recessed out. I'm going to put a couple of clips on that 10mm pipe just to hold it back. But yeah, we're all good. So I can get that valve turned off now and get the water back into the header tank and fill it up while we sort out cleaning up the mess. There we go, a couple of clips on there just to hold it in. Then if you look down there, it's not even poking out past the wall. Just use the phone. There you go, straight edge, sunk back into the wall. Perfect. So let's get the header tank open back up, fill the heating system back up, have a tidy up, and then we can fix this rad back on when we've cleaned up here and made it all look as best as we can. As I say, they may fill this before they put the boarding on the wall. Right, with that all sorted up here now, we're just going to get this rad back on here now. And obviously, these pipes, they're so, I don't know why they've done that, but it is what it is. But these pipes are so chunky. Let's move that out of there just to get that fitting as flat back as it can be. Obviously the rad was on here anyway, so it will go back on, but yeah, sometimes it just looks so bad. Remember back in the day when you used to have to bring the pipes out and just poke them out the wall? It looks so much neater than this, but I guess new builds, that's what they do. Time is money and all of that. So let's just lift this rad back on. Go, sorted. And just get the valves made in and we can open this up. Obviously the heating system's been filling up now for about 20 minutes or so while I've been tidying up. So we'll open this up, get the heating system filled, go around, vent everywhere, and then heat test it. I always like to heat test a system when we've done any work on it. But at least now that's sorted, then get this paneling on and the heating will be fine. So if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, get subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button down there. It doesn't cost anything to get subscribed to the channel and you're not gonna miss out on any of the future videos. So get subscribed, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment as well. Let me know the last time you was called out to a nail pipe.